All right. Awesome. So, Dave, thank you very much. So, everyone who's going to be watching, because this is not live, just so you guys know, Dave is going to be like our local firearms expert. We'll have other people in those fields as well. But Dave was the first person I wanted to interview because he's like my brother, he's my boy, and I know he's as good with guns as I am with computers. So, Dave, how are we doing today, sir? How are we doing?
Man, I am blessed. I'm off today, which is good. I am a law enforcement officer. I work here in Rapides Parish. I've been dealing with firearms most of my life. My dad was in the military. My grandfather was in the military. I was in the military.
Okay.
And now I work in law enforcement. So,
Gotcha. So you got a long history around little things that fire bullets.
Absolutely.
Good deal, good deal. So let me start off by asking you this. To you, what does it mean to you to be a man?
For me, being a man is not just the ability to protect, but also to provide. And to be an example for my kids so that when they grow up, they know what to expect from a man, or as my son grows up, to know what to expect to be a man so that he can be example to his family and so that he can protect them and he can take care of them and he knows the do's and don'ts. So that's what it means to me.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's awesome because being just a provider and being an absentee father is not really being a father or being a man, because there are a lot of people who provide but they're absent. So that's fantastic. Being that example, taking care of yourself, saying that's perfect. I love it. So let's dive into that. Let's dive into the firearms real quick. So when exactly did you realize, hey man, I like guns. I have an interest in guns. Other than being smacked as a baby, there's got to be a point after that.
So I started coming to Christian Worship Center in 1987, and I joined a group called Royal Rangers.
Royal Rangers, okay.
A Christian Boy Scouts, and they would send you to this little academy every summer. It was about a week long, and you got to do things like camping and fire building and do tents. And then as you got a little older, they introduced you, probably about 9 or 10, to shooting a .22 rifle. And you had competitions, and you would win trophies and ribbons. And I really kind of got hooked. I was like, man, I like this. So from that point on, my dad started taking me hunting, started doing Royal Rangers more, started competing, started, cleaning and building and customizing stuff, try and make it better, faster, shoot further. That's where it all started.
Gotcha. So you did mention customize. As far as customizing, how customizable is a gun? Because I don't know. I thought a gun was I bought it, I put bullets in it, I shoot it, and whatever I shoot, I eat, except for people.
It really just depends on the weapon itself, but most every gun has a customizable, a list of accessories that you can customize. You can, most people with a handgun, they go for trigger pull. Maybe they want the trigger pull lighter. Gotcha. They want it to fire faster. So they change out springs, they change out barrels, they have the slide cut, they have it port. Which means they have holes drilled into the barrel so that it releases the gas faster, so that there's less recoil, it doesn't kick. They may do a flared mag well so that when you slide the magazine in, you're not having to look at it every time you put it in. It kind of guides it in faster. So just little things like that people customize. As far as a rifle goes, it's almost limitless. I build custom rifles, and I can tell you there's a custom part for each and everything that you put onto an AR-15.
Gotcha. So we might have to do a whole separate segment on just that. This is an AR-15 you buy from Walmart. This is an AR-15 that Dave creates for you. So we might have to do that little section there. So here's my next question to you. So most of us, of course, most men, we know we need a gun for protection, but what would you recommend for someone for home protection? Like you need a gun at home. What kind of gun would you recommend and why?
Okay, so probably the most common gun on the market is the Glock. Glock makes a series of handguns from .22 caliber all the way up to 45 ACP, and that is the size of the bullet. Just for those who are not familiar with guns, so the bigger the bullet, the bigger the damage, but also the harder it is to control. The bigger the bullet. So You think of it like that. 9mm is usually a great starting point. Glock 19, Glock 17, those are both 9mm calibers, and I think Glock 43 is the concealed carry, the short barrel version of the 9mm. So all of those I recommend. It's really hard to tear up a Glock. They're dependable. They last about forever. It's like owning a Toyota or a Honda. They keep rolling, man. And there's so many parts out there. If something breaks, you can fix it really easy.
Gotcha. Cool. Thanks. So we might have to talk because I think I want to get something for myself that's fairly easy and safe, and something probably for the wife. And for the ladies, would a Glock be a good fit for like our wives and stuff?
Absolutely. And now there's a couple of different ways you can go about this. You can get the Glock 43. It's a concealed carry. It's real easy to handle, easy to maneuver. It's going to be on the higher end of price spectrum for concealed carry, but it's a better gun. If you want cheaper, Ruger makes a gun called a G2C, which is about $250. It's 9mm. It's built very similar to the Glock, and it works pretty good too. It's dependable.
Cool deal. So with all that said, let me ask you this. We're going to ask for two different ends of the spectrum. What would you consider your worst experience with a gun, and what would be your best experience with a gun?
Okay, so the first time I went to the range with a friend to shoot their pistol, I'd never shot it. It was a Beretta M9, which is the military issue. They military issued those for a long time. It's got the long slide. It's real big, kind of clunky. So I wasn't used to that slide moving the way most other guns did, and I went too high up on the slide, and when the slide came back, it sliced the top of my hand. So yeah, that's the worst experience I've had. But that all comes to how you hold a pistol when you fire.
Gotcha. And the best experience?
Best experience is the Glock fires just about anything and everything out there. So even if you need to buy cheap ammo, it's great. Not all guns do that. They're not all equal.
Gotcha. Not all guns are created equal. Gotcha. So for first-time owners, what would be the biggest thing for safety? Because we always got to think about safety. A lot of us have kids. So for safety for guns in home, what would you recommend for safety for guns in home?
So for most everything out there, especially if you're going to have a firearm, they have biometric safes. They're under $100. You stick your thumb or your fingerprint on there, it scans it and it opens. It takes approximately 5 seconds to open the safe. So you just put your hand on the palm print, it clicks, it opens, you have access to your gun. But first time gun owner, especially if you have kids in the house, you want to have somewhere that is locked. You want to make sure the kids are educated, that they know there's a gun in the house, that they know that they're not supposed to touch the gun, they know the rules about the gun, and they know that the gun's locked.
Gotcha.
So that should be number one with first time gun owners. Secondly, if you're going to do it, I advise you to go to your local range. Once you buy the gun, use the gun, because if you've never shot it, that's going to be a real bad experience if somebody tries to come in your house and you don't know how to make it go boom.
I got you, remember. I can always throw it at them. You know what I'm saying?
It's a really heavy paperweight, but if you don't know how to use it, then I would advise you actually taking the time and learning. There's a number of classes you can take. Most of the ranges will offer classes. You can go online. There's some instruction you can get on YouTube, some videos from different places. But if you want to do a concealed carry class, they'll actually help you with all of that. So
cool. Well, my man, I thank you very much for your time that you took out your off day, which are very few and far between, to give us some of your info, to educate us. So hopefully by the time the group sees this, I'll have it up on Facebook, and I'll try to create a YouTube page as well. So if there are any questions, if you don't see those questions, I'll try to funnel them to you and get answers to everyone. So
hey, quickly while I'm on here, I have a few things I'm going to show you before you go. So this is something, it's a mat. I don't know if you can see that well. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so it has a magnet on the end of it right here.
Yep.
And that magnet will allow you to take all the pieces off of the gun, set them to the side. They don't move around while you clean it. And then if you look at the mat, it shows a complete breakdown of a Glock pistol.
Gotcha. Is there a link where we could go to get that?
I will look it up, but Amazon, if you go to magnetic mat on Amazon. It'll pull right up. Just put Glock behind that, and it'll pull this mat up.
10-4. I'll make sure to put that in the notes. So if anyone has a Glock, you're watching this, you have a Glock, that seems like a very good accessory to use when cleaning it. How often do you recommend to clean the gun?
Okay, so cleaning is that's actually a good question. Depends on how much you use the gun. If I don't use the gun and I haven't fired rounds through it, I usually do it every 3 or 4 months. I'll go ahead and clean it just to make sure there's no dust buildup, no corrosion, anything like that. Real quickly though, while I've got you here, I'll show you. First thing you want to do is press the slide release. Magazine's out. Chamber it, you remove the round. Okay, it's empty, cleared. I'm going to dry fire, that releases it. Grab the top of the slide. If you move that back slightly, there's 2 little pins. You pull them down and the top comes off. It's that easy to break down. Takes about 5 seconds. Your spring is out. Push forward. Barrel is out. Slide is done. Gun is apart.
Sweet.
That
So that was literally a tutorial on how to take a Glock apart right there. So bonus content. You know what I'm saying? I love it.
Absolutely. And as far as cleaning it, it's really simple. Most guns, it's just simply every place that moves. So from the barrel to the slide, where it touches, your trigger, the mechanism that moves the trigger, those are little places that after you've cleaned, you want to go back with. And I recommend Lucas gun oil. It stays on a lot longer, it's cleaner, and this will last you probably 2 or 3 years if you manage it. So
sweet. Thank you for that. You see, there was extra content there that I didn't think to ask because I'm not a gun expert. You know, you asked me about a computer and I got you, but thank you for hitting us up with the gun right there. I appreciate that. So again, thank you. If we have any more questions, I'll make sure to funnel them to you. And in the future, we will make some more videos where you'll give us some more detail. Probably an AR-15. That'd be amazing if you could see you take one of those apart. That'd be great.
We may even do a video where we go out and shoot the gun, and I'll bring you with me, and we can record that, set it up, and
that's a big fan. Yeah, we definitely need to get that set up. That'd be amazing.
All right.
Well, my brother, appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be in touch, man.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
All right.